Hey guys, welcome back to Overtakes. I'm Kel.
And this is Misfit.
And we are here with a little, probably a news break, slash just general discussion of the Overwatch League and kind of what's going on right now. So let's dive into it. If you guys like what you're hearing, don't forget to give us a like, a subscribe, all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. Anybody that's already been doing that, thank you. Leave us some comments. Let's get a discussion going about what we're going to talk about today. So first thing we're going to talk about is Seagull. That's the big news that's come out in the past couple days. He's retiring from the league.
It's not surprising in a way.
Yeah.
He's really popular on stream. And we talked about this before the inaugural season even started. The grind was going to be big.
Yeah.
And hard. And, some guys don't like that. And also, salary-wise, he's making more on stream. Right. I mean, I'm sure he's making a good amount from Dallas.
It's not like they're not making a really good living playing for the league. But when you're doing the amount of work that is required to play at the level that you need to be at when you're in the league, it's going to be a lot more work than when you can set your own schedule for streaming. And I mean, that's as much fun as it would be to be a streamer and all that. Like, it's still a job, guys. You're still sitting there 4 hours a day. You're engaging with people while you're playing this game at a really high level. You're trying to keep people entertained and
trying to do decently at playing, so you don't look like a complete idiot.
There's so much going on. There's a lot of things you got to do.
Yeah,
especially a guy like Seagull. I mean, he's averaging about 10,000 viewers every time he streams.
Yeah, so
there's just so much going on and all that. So I totally get it. I understand where he's coming from. That being said, will it be forever? I don't know. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I think there's
also other things too that some of you guys probably are like, oh, he's a pro, he's making a lot of money. Look, this is not major pro sports across the board, across the world. They're not there's no players union. So all these Seagull jerseys and all these other jerseys, that money's getting dumped back into the team.
Right.
Seagull's not getting money for that jersey. He's getting money for t-shirts and stuff that in subscriptions that he's doing on his own if he sells t-shirts, but some of these guys do. But there's things that in regular pro sports that haven't been developed yet, and these streamers are going to leave because the grind's too hard and they're not making the amount of money and the extra money stuff too. It's just one of those things. A play level though for Dallas, this is huge.
Yes.
They have a big hole to fill now.
Yes, they do.
They have Jane and they have Arrow. They can find some people and they'll be able to work their magic.
Yeah.
But that's hard to replace.
That's going to, because not even just the hero pool that he has, just his leadership capability, the guy brings so much to that team. Yeah. That's going to be a really hard guy to replace. And I think it's going to be, they definitely will not be the same team. I think they're going to, with him leaving, they're most likely going to have to do a pretty big roster overhaul.
Yeah, because I think he was pretty much their lead. They're going to have to, because you don't know what's going to happen with Effect. Effect says he's back 1 minute, and do you want him back? That's the thing. He seems like a headache. He's a great player, but do you want him back?
Right.
If someone will pick, it's not like someone wouldn't pick him up anyway.
No, there's no way. But that's the other thing is, can they turn around and trade him and maybe get something out of it instead of just letting him walk and do whatever? So that's definitely one thing to consider. The other thing that kind of it raises a question of is this the only guy that we're going to see do this?
I don't think so. We've mentioned a couple of names in a couple of our last episodes for different reasons.
Yeah.
Rouge Hong, possibly, maybe someone like Sabiobi.
Yep.
But you're going to see
those guys more so for age, less so for they want to do their streaming career. Because that was the big thing is there was really only two really big streamers that came into the league, and that was XQC and Seagull. They were known for being streamers, and that's how people knew them. It's a little bit different with the XQC situation, obviously, because everything that went down with him, and then with Seagull, he had been playing with these guys in Contenders and all of that. So he was with Envious. So it's a little bit different. You kind of expected him to be there, whereas they were like, oh, hey, well, we can grab this XQC guy, and he's going to bring us more viewers and all that, and then we can kind of overlap.
I think they thought it was going to be a mutually beneficial thing where it was just not.
Yes, exactly.
It benefited nobody.
Yeah.
And now everybody's better off.
Yeah.
He's more entertaining when he's not, because he didn't want to do the grind.
Right.
And it took away from his entertainment value on his stream, and then he was being a dick on his stream on top of it, and then that was getting him in trouble. Mm-hmm. I mean, there were times they were saying he was like up 23 hours.
Yeah.
Grind stuff for Overwatch League, and then stream until he passed out or whatever, pretty much.
Right. That's a lot. That's an insane thing to do in general.
But there'll be more guys doing this, and I think there's going to be some guys who are like not lower level, but like kind of bit player guys that are getting more views on their streams because they're playing in a league that are probably going to do, what? I'm not going to play an Overwatch League anymore. I'm just going to stream.
Yeah, I'm just going to stream Overwatch, or I'm going to stream one of these other games that are really popular. And that's the other big thing is, like, you got to compete with that because, I mean, no one's just playing one game. Even these guys that are pros, they're playing other games on top of this. Well, there's no way they're just playing Overwatch. I'm sure there's some guys that are, but for the most part, anybody that they're playing something else some other times.
And I see them, a lot of them talk on Twitter and, wherever else. Hey, I just picked up a copy of, whatever.
Right. I saw Moonfares, who normally streams a lot of Heroes of the Storm, and then Defran, who's an Overwatch guy. I mean, he's kind of been all over the place lately, but they were both doing the new Rainbow Six game.
Yeah.
Yesterday. So, like, it's just one of those things. I think that's definitely something. Now, the other question is, could anything ever lure these guys back if they do that? And obviously there's one thing, and that's money. Yeah,
money. And I think some of these guys are going to be not involved in it the second year, but once, if the salaries start skyrocketing, which they're going to start going up.
Yeah, they're definitely, like, Season 2, I think they're going to probably, I could definitely see them doubling, possibly more. So we're going to see some pretty big contracts, but once you start getting into, oh, hey, we're offering you over $1 million for this season just for you to play for our team.
Yeah.
That's when I think we start to see some of these guys be like,
oh,
okay, I can deal with that grind.
Yeah,
I'll deal with it. I mean, I dealt with what I did with Dallas and all that fiasco for 125 Gs. I can do that for $1 million.
Yeah, exactly. And some of these guys, I mean, with the expansion, the way it's going, so one of these teams is going to take a flyer on somebody and throw out there a bigger contract than Sinatra's, 4 times the amount.
Oh yeah.
5 times the amount.
So, yeah, someone's going to get a huge payday, and then that's going to set a new precedent for how these guys are going to get paid and how they're going to acquire talent. And, I mean, that's just a natural progression of a league, of any professional sports league. That's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah, and for instance, the Atlanta franchise is owned by, what are they owned by, Comcast?
Mm-hmm.
They have money coming out their ass.
Right.
And if they have a group that are like, hey, we want to, build this thing up and we want to make this popular, and not instead of just saying, yeah, we want our name on there, we just want the advertising and blah, 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 blah. If they want to make the money and they want to make this team a winner, they're just going to throw money at it.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, all right, we paid $40 million to get in. Here's $30 million for salary.
Yeah.
Or $20 million or whatever.
Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. Absolutely, we could see that. And then that's just going to make the franchises worth even more. And so, I mean, other teams are going to follow suit. As soon as something like that happens, other teams are going to follow suit. And
some teams are going to sell.
Yeah.
So, some guys that are just in it for the love of the game, kind of like they like esports and all that, they might drop out. They might say, hey, you know what? I like this, but you know what? I'm going to sell the franchise. I probably can sell it for 3 times what I paid for it, and go back to doing the other things that I like to do in esports. And just
possibly building that, going back and building up a new Contenders team or something like that.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads into what we want to talk about next is what's going on with Contenders right now, and that's the meta and kind of the changes that they're doing. Contenders championship is in 6 days?
Yep, in Korea.
Today? Yeah.
The Korean championship.
Yeah.
So the big one, it was formerly Apex.
Yes.
The one that and I'm going to say this, and I don't give a flying fuck. I kind of pay attention a little bit to North America. It's the Contenders that everyone's watching.
Yeah.
That is Contenders, really. In my mind, I look for the Korean one's coming on because it's the best played one.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you have established teams kind of in there. You got Runaways, you got GC Busan, all that stuff. You know the teams once you start getting into competitive Overwatch, and you're like, why am I watching this other one, which is okay, and I could be watching that where these guys all should be in the fucking pros right now.
Right.
I'm sure you guys heard some of the stuff they're doing with the meta. So they're running the patch that
is out right now.
They're
basically running the live patch. Hammond is in, new Symmetra's in, any other changes. I think the only thing that's not in is the support changes because those are still on PTR.
Yeah. And this is
all of that stuff is going in a week before the championship.
Yeah.
So not even like the playoffs or anything like that. It's the championship game, and it's like, here's a brand new hero.
And another hero.
And basically another brand new hero. Like, it'd be a little less different if it was just Symmetra, but the fact that it's Symmetra and Hammond going into this, it's a little too much, especially with how protective of everything they were for the official league, or for like the main league. For them to do this at this point, it seems very puzzling, and it seems like it's two different entities running both of these. And that's where the problems really start to creep up. Because we talked about it a little bit before too,
and we're for changes. Meta changes.
Right. Well, oh yeah, totally. I
mean, don't get us wrong on this. I mean, we are, and if you've been listening to us all season, you know, we had a fucking big problem with the not changing into the Hanzo for the 4th stage.
Exactly.
So continue. I'm sorry.
But yeah, like that just kind of leads into some of the issues that are going on with tier 2, with Contenders, and just like the lower level teams, and how disorganized and messy it is. And we're going to get it more into that on our next episode. We're going to do a wish list of everything we want to see for next season and beyond. So we're definitely going to dive more into that. But with this, it just is one of those big issues where you're just like, it's kind of a head scratcher, and it just feels like it's two different things that are just not on the same page as far as what the plan is and how they're approaching everything.
Yeah, it's just an odd timing.
Yeah.
I get, like, you know, all right, you put it in before the playoffs, you run that patch through, so Hammond comes out, no big deal. We're not changing the patch to mess with the meta for the championship game. That would be my mentality in there. They're just like, fuck it, just, here we go. And then in an Overwatch League, they're totally protective of, like we were saying, like, no, we don't want to change the meta. They're not going to have enough time. But in Contenders, they're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Here's 2 new heroes and a bunch of other weird balance changes to Mei, McCree, and Widowmaker, I think, might have got her hook, her grappling hook. I mean, you do that a week before? It needs to be fixed. They need to decide what they want to do with this Path to Pro thing, first off. I mean, we're going to get more into that. But, guys, basically what it's the equivalent of in the NFL, the week before the Super Bowl, they said, you know what? We're running Canadian football rules. Have at it, guys. 110-yard field. You can run the ball in the end zone on a fucking extra point. Everybody can run around like a bunch of fucking idiots before the snap. And, 3 downs. You know, it's shit like that. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. But, you know, we're gonna go to 2 halves in the NBA, like college, and we're gonna get rid of the 3-point line.
And that's gonna happen in the Eastern Conference Finals, or halfway through the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
Like, they've already played 2 games, but here's all these rule changes now.
Gonna make the NHL ice the size of a soccer field.
Right.
It's basically what they're doing. I mean,
and
it doesn't make any sense, and it makes it unwatchable, really. And Contenders is kind of hard to watch anyway, in my opinion, because you don't know, like, where the meta's at sometimes. I mean, it's okay because you get it after a little bit, but it's like they're changing stuff faster than they should be.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of our normal argument.
Exactly.
Sometimes you got to put the brakes and go, whoa.
Yeah.
Don't.
They need to find a good balance between what's happening in Contenders and what's happening in the Overwatch League. It's just a little bit, one's too slow, one's too fast. They just gotta find a balance right in there and then keep it consistent throughout. I understand, hey, maybe you want to try some different rule changes in Contenders. That's fine. But when you're changing these things and putting these things in right before the championship game, it's just like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Yeah, and to be honest, they're kind of screwing the fans that are into the Korean Overwatch scene.
Yeah.
Because that is kind of that's one of their big tournaments. That's their big thing. I mean, they're playing it on a LAN, for crying out loud, in Korea. So, I mean, this is a big fucking deal. And they're just like, who cares? Let's see what happens.
Right.
We'll throw caution to the wind here and just, it just bothers the shit out of me.
Yeah, it's definitely really wonky. I don't understand it, but yeah.
And they need to organize, like, all of the shit. Like, Major League Baseball, they have the tiered system. The commissioner is in concert with the commissioners of all these other leagues, like the International League and the Pacific Coast League. He's kind of like the figurehead of the whole thing, and they report to him, or the American League president or National League president. They have like a system. Not just like, okay, we're going to run Contenders and esports guys go.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they got some guys in the organization, but they need it more structured and more just complete. All the rules got to be the same because you can't have different rule sets all the time. Like, even when the first season of Contenders this year, they were running on the new patch. Overwatch League was running on the old Mercy patch. And, it just didn't make any sense. And then when the meta shifted, they were actually talking back and forth with the Contenders teams of what's working.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of get it in a way with that, but that's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the news for, the last few days since we've last talked to you guys. So don't forget to hit a like, hit subscribe. If you're new to the channel, thanks a lot for joining us. We're going to have some more stuff going on this week and throughout the off season. And also, if you're returning, thanks a lot. Thanks for all the comments, and let's keep it going, guys. Let's see what you guys want to hear, and what you guys want to see coming up in season 2 of Overwatch League. Besides new teams and all that, what you want to see in the broadcasts and all that other kind of stuff. Okay, so that is going to do it. We will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Catch you guys on the next one. Later.